Tiger Woods wins the 2019 Masters. It's the biggest sports story of 2019 and likely not to be topped for the rest of the year. And joining us in studio, our buddy Matt Parziale, who just happened to play practice round with Tiger at the Masters 2 years ago. How you doing, Matt?
Very good. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Let's talk about Tiger. Let's talk about that weekend, first of all. Give me your perspective on Tiger winning the Masters.
I'm sure a lot of people have said this, but it's easily the best thing I've ever seen. And I say that because I think I took it for granted from 97 to 2008, where he was winning 14 over that span.
Right.
And in my mind, I never thought I'd see that again. And then to see it and relive that, those from 10, 15 years ago, I mean, I cried. I wanted to run through a wall. It was amazing. So,
give me your personal story. 2 years ago, you were at the Masters. You competed in it. This year, at a boys' trip in Indiana.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those days we'll all say we knew where we were when Tiger won the Masters. Where were you? How'd you watch it?
Yeah. So the change of the timing of the round on Sunday kind of screwed up our plans because we were flying home from Indiana. So we watched the first 9 holes on the flight, which is perfect. Southwest had it, and then I was able to watch the last 6 when I finally got home, and it was just incredible. We didn't really miss many shots. We were playing a lot of golf, but we had the phones, and everyone was keeping each other updated. It was something I'll never forget.
All right, so let's talk about the rest of the golf season now with Tiger winning the Masters. How does it impact, in your mind, the rest of the golf season?
I mean, he's the guy to beat again, and I don't want to say that before maybe people are intimidated, but that factor's still there. It's never left. He just hasn't been healthy and hasn't been able to do these things. And now that he is, I don't know who I'm sure all these guys are intimidated, even though there's a lot deeper of the top 15, 20 players. But he's the guy to beat for sure.
Now let's talk about the majors. I went to the page for the U.S. Open, and the first thing you see is a picture of Tiger. You click on it, there's a video of him talking about the U.S. Open. I mean, everybody around golf has to be ecstatic about Tiger winning another major because it changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he is the needle. He doesn't just move it, he is the needle. So I've said that before, and it's exciting for golf. It's exciting for these other guys who have to compete against him because they haven't had this Tiger the last 6, 7 years. Now they get to compete against the best that's ever done it.
Matt, let's talk about how Tiger is in his relationship with the rest of the young guns that are out there now. And I want to make the Tom Brady comparison because it seems to me it really is analogous. Brady competes at the highest level in his 40s, yet pulls Patrick Mahomes aside and tells him how good he is. It feels like Tiger has the same relationship with Rickie, Rory, and all those guys.
Yeah, I definitely see that. And Tom and Tiger, when they were in their 20s and early 30s, they're so competitive. I think when you get later in your career, you can kind of step back. You are the best who's ever done it, and he wants friends now. And not that he didn't want friends before, but he's more open to hanging out with the guys and spending more time with them and playing with them when he's not just at tournaments, and it's awesome to see. And he's enjoying life, and that's the best part of it.
It was great to see at the end of the Masters with his mom getting hugs from almost every one of the top golfers in the world that were there. Dustin Johnson, you name it, they were all right there. But doesn't it change their relationship a little bit now that Tiger, you know, he might have been the grandfather, the old one giving him advice. Now he's like one of them again.
He's the guy to chase now. So, I mean, if they see it any other way, that I think they'd be crazy. But it's just so fun to watch him compete. And I think all those guys can appreciate it because they've never seen anything like it.
So for the rest of the year, give me your perspective. If you're out there, and again, you're Rickie, you're Rory, and you're competing with Tiger, I think we saw in the Masters the Tiger effect. We saw Francisco Molinari play 3.5 great rounds and fall apart a little.
Yeah.
We saw Brooks Koepka rush something. Yeah. We saw that years and years ago with Tiger. What effect does Tiger have on these guys when they compete with him now, especially in majors?
So I still think that effect's there. It's probably not as much as it was before because these guys that were the best players in the world now are guys that are so good because they watched him. The guys before had no idea what they were dealing with. These guys know what they're dealing with, but I just still don't think that they'll be as prepared as they think they are down the stretch when this guy's in contention.
I know you're a big Rory fan. Rory didn't play as well as he could have in the Masters, but there were 8-12 guys competing on Sunday. I mean, the Masters couldn't have asked for a better Sunday. Again, take us through to the rest of the summer. Who do you think set up a handful of guys to have a good summer, to have a good season of golf now from what you saw in the Masters?
I mean, how can you bet against Brooks? Every major that comes around, he's right there.
He's a machine.
Especially in the majors. I don't know what he does the other weeks. Maybe he's just not, maybe he's just having a good time, but when the majors, when it's a big biggest moment, he's there at every single step of the way. So he could easily been in a playoff if he makes that putt in the last hole. He played really good golf the whole week. Obviously, DJ played that really good last 6 holes, I believe, 4 birdies the last 6 to get right there. These guys are on all cylinders right now, and it was tough to watch Molinari play that way, but he got away with a lot that last round where he was hitting some poor drives, making some really good putts. He didn't have his best stuff that whole day, and he kind of hung in there a little longer than I expected.
What did you see from Tiger on Saturday and Sunday in the Masters that when you look back on it and you get past the emotion, you get past the story, what did he do so well that allowed him to win this tournament?
I think it was his driver. I mean, he always hits his irons better than anyone. But even after he made the birdie on 16, I go, all right, here comes the miss with the driver. Right or left on 17. And I saw the tracker go right down the middle. I was like, it has to be wrong. And then it landed right in the middle of the fairway. And it was incredible. And then on 18, I know he pushed it a little bit, but still, he was in play in the short stuff. And that's impressive because that's something that's always not been his best down the stretch.
I want to ask you about one other guy, sort of my favorite. I'm sort of rooting for him to have his moment as Rickie Fowler. And I thought he was in that group in the Masters on Sunday. He seems to always be on the doorstep. What does he need to do? Just get it done?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Phil thing. He's so good, he's going to win at some point. It just has to happen. And when he does, he'll probably win just as many as Phil has. Maybe not as many. Phil's won quite a bit. But he'll be there because he's always in contention. And he's a guy that I look back and they asked him after the Honda. He was there rooting for the guys and shaking their hand. They go, why do you do that? Well, he said, my job's done. And I think Tiger's learned that from these guys, that they can be friends and still, they can compete on the course, but then be friends after.
So let's finish up with a final thought about Tiger and, again, the rest of this season. You sort of already answered this, but sum it up for us. What do you expect from him going forward now?
I mean, I'd be crazy to say he's going to win all the majors, but I would be shocked if he's not in contention all 3 down the stretch. Maybe he gets 1 or 2 more because he's playing 3 places that he's had some success at.
Handicap his chances in all 3 of them, just the courses and what you think.
Yeah, I think his best chance is probably Bethpage because
he's won there before.
He's won there.
Right.
It's not the U.S. Open. It's not going to be the rough as crazy as it was when he won the U.S. Open there. And then Pebble, remember what he did in 2000 where he won by 15 or 18, whatever it was. And those 2 places, it'd be tough not to see him right there, if not win them both.
Is there a bigger Tiger fan out there now than you?
I'm sure there's so many guys that love this guy, but I think I might just build the wall so I can run through one, so I have to run through my own next time.
Matt Parziale, I'm Butch Stearns.